Good afternoon and welcome to the Mindful Model Maker. We're out on the garden railway, the above ground garden railway today, and this is my latest acquisition, which is an IP engineering loco. And this loco I got it yesterday, ran it last night, and I just want to show you roughly. It's a MEFS burning. I'm not sure how old it is. I've got a feeling it could be, I don't know, 20, 30 years old. Not sure. I don't know when IP Engineering stopped doing steam locos, because now I think you'll find most of their stuff is just battery electric. But they did do steam in the beginning. It's got a regulator that moves there. It's got a globe valve which goes down to a lubricator, and it's a lubricator that you put oil in, and as the steam goes round, the oil gets sucked in and it goes down into the cylinders to lubricate the cylinders. And safety valve on top here, and this one, luckily enough, has got a gauge glass, which is very handy, because unlike the Mammoth and the MSS type locos, you've still got the original gauge glass bit in the centre of the boiler. Well, when it's in steam, it's bubbling away inside there. It's very difficult to see what the level is. But on here, it's like all steam locos, including full size, you can then see where the level is in the boiler. Now, you don't want it right up to the top, because you've got to have room for steam. Yesterday I overfilled it a little bit, and it will then prime. When you move it, the water will shoot up the chimney, which can be quite dangerous because it can take all the water out of the boiler suddenly. But we haven't got a big roaring fire, so it's quite easy with a MEFS fire to blow it out. So the only drawback with these is on a windy day, they can keep blowing it out. There's a little breeze today, but I think it's going to be alright. There's a couple of scorch marks on the track where the thing is with methylated spirits, when it's burning, especially in the summer, you can't see it. It's got this bluey kind of flame, but you just can't see it. So there is a little bit of wear and tear around, but there you go. What I will probably do is get a bit of metal track and have that in the steaming bay, just purely for getting it ready. Because once you've got it ready out on the track, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So yeah, everything looks ready to go. So underneath the dome here is what they call a Goodall valve. And a Goodall valve, I wonder if I can get it off, that's it, is a valve which allows you to put water in whilst it's still hot and still got steam in. So you can probably see, so that's that. So how you do that is with one of these bottles like this. Okay, so when I squeeze that, you see the water come out. So I'll put that in there. So I always start off by putting water in the boiler, because that's what you're going to need. And then I will just watch down in the gauge glass and watch it come up. I'm going to open the regulator and open that at the front so there's no resistance, because yesterday I didn't see anything going into the boiler at all until it kind of shot up. I've got a feeling it's showing right up the top. If that's the case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the safety valve out a minute. If I can, take the safety valve out. So I'm not quite sure where the water is in there. I did empty it out last night. Goodall valve was loose actually. I'm going to just take that out and see what's in the boiler. Something seems to be giving me a false reading, but these are things you've got to get used to. So I'll take that off. Yeah, it's got a fair bit in there. going to empty some of that out just to see where we are on the gauge glass. I don't think there's a lot in there actually. I don't like that for a minute. I'm just going to put that in, see what comes up on there. I think there's quite a bit in, so I'm going to tip some of that out, definitely. Now I can't see on the glass where that is because it's very kind of oily and gooey inside. I don't really want to take that glass off there because there's a chance of breaking it. There's water, definitely water in the boiler. So I'm going to call that enough at the moment because I can see it in there and it's not too low. So this is the Goodall valve where you can put water into your boiler. You'll see it going like that. Okay. That puts water in while you've actually still got steam pressure. So that goes into there. So we'll just do that up. It doesn't have to be overly tight. You never want to over tighten anything on this because obviously it's brass and when it gets hot it's going to expand anyway. And of course don't forget everything gets hot. This might be a small loco but you can't scale heat. Heat is heat. And steam is the same heat as full-size loco steam, so and it can burn. So that's one thing you really got to remember. Right, we'll open this. Hold it firmly. Like so. Again, don't over tighten anything. There's no real need to. If you get a little weepy to steam, it's not really going to hurt too much. So inside there, it's all gooey. And you can see it was shooting out. So what you do with that, there is a little bit there on the side, a screw, which I can undo with a smaller screwdriver, and that will let all the muck out. So I'll take that out of there, and then it should. This is all the water and oil that has mixed together going round. And you turn. Don't ever lose this screw. As you can see, the water that's in there has now run out. And if what you want to do, see, I use proper full blown steam oil, which I would use on a 5-inch or a 3.5-inch loco, because that's where this has come from. I'll put that in, and you should start to see it coming out the bottom in a minute. It should just push the last drops of water out, which is what it's doing now. Like so. It's getting oily enough for me. I'm going to put that back in now. So your hands are getting nice and oily and greasy. As you can see, I don't wear gloves, never worn gloves, even when driving a 5-inch gauge loco. If you touch something that's hot, you just take your hand away very quickly, so you'll soon learn the bits. And what I use really is a rag. It's what most of the real loco men used to use. You're going to get burnt a few times, but you know what to touch and what not. Just have a cloth in your hand, just like a dishclothy type thing. Have that, and if you've got to touch any of the controls that are hot, just touch it with that, which is what they used to do. hear that oil going down in there now, like so. A few bits want tightening up on here, but other than that. So right, we've got steam oil in the lubricator. We've got water in the boiler. It's not really showing on the gauge slides, but I'm not too worried about that. I can see there's enough in there. Let's get a bigger blade for that. So before I steam up, what I usually do, make sure the regulator's closed. Make sure the reverser is in mid-gear, which is on this one, is on the lever on the front. So that's that bit. The next bit is to get the methylated spirits. Now what I've done, I've decanted it into this little bottle so that it's easier for me to aim it. Because like I say, I don't want to spill it and then set light, because you'll have a fire and you don't always notice that you've got one. So I'm just going to push, give it a squeeze, push that through. There are 3 wicks on this. And like yesterday when I lit it, I couldn't really see, but what you do is you can hear it. You can hear that it's a light. I'm just watching, and there is lots of meths coming out underneath there actually. So I'm going to take it off the plastic track. I think a lot of that is actually water, so I'm not worried about that. It's all going. Right, we're full. Okay. So that's that bit there. And what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to put it up on blocks actually, which is a much better way of doing it, because 1, I won't set the tracker light, and 2, we can run. So put her up on these bits of wood like so. Everything's clear. So right, so we've got water in the boiler, we have got oil in the lubricator, and we've got the fuel, which is the methylated spirits, in its tank. And like I say, there are 3 wicks. So I've got one of these lighters, which it's got the lock on it at the moment, which is there. That's it. So now I'm going to light her up. I'll go underneath for that. Now I know it's a light because the heat is there already. Pretty good. So yeah, got some of the mess pouring out on the wood underneath. So what we do, we just squirt some of this on it and just put that out like that. So you can hear the wind blowing it. It's getting very hot. Yeah, it's got a bit of heat there. So anyway, we are alight. There is a little bit of a breeze, but it's not too bad. Yeah, so I don't know why IP Engineering stopped making the live steam. I don't know all the history of that, but I expect there are people, if you want to put in the comments, if you know more about it than I do, I'd like to know, because I think it's a nice... The only locos that I've ever seen like this is the Roy Wood ones, which is now made by another company because he stopped. And they're very similar to this. Whether they are the same loco, I've got no idea. But when I ran this yesterday, it ran very nicely. So it's getting very hot quite quickly. So I've had a reasonable amount of success with the MSS loco, but with lots of modifications. But all them modifications basically are on this already, and of course this has a better boiler. I did fit a silver solder boiler on the MSS loco because if you're working at higher pressure, then a soft solder boiler could be, especially if it gets low on water, then your solder joints could just fall apart. But if you've got a silver solder boiler, it's not going to fall. I would imagine this is probably silver soldered. Don't know for sure. And the wheels, the profile on the wheels is much better than the standard Mammoth or MSS loco has. So, this is making a few noises. I don't know if you can hear that from there. It's getting very hot. You can't hold that now. So it might not be too long before something starts happening. Things are bubbling away. I still can't see nothing in the gauge glass, but there you go. Normally when it starts boiling you can see the water bubbling up and down in that. Right, there's a little whiff of steam now coming through the safety valve, you can see that. So I'm going to put her into gear, like so, and I'm going to open the regulator a little bit. Build up a little bit more, but the steam is building up now. So you can see the whiff of steam coming up from she's starting to move a little bit as she goes. Probably too much water in. Yeah, I think she's right at the top of the glass actually, but I'm going to persevere. So this is forward this way. Yeah, she's starting to turn on her own. It will build up a little bit more pressure. Away. So it'll build up a bit in a minute. It's beginning to run much smoother now. As you can see, you've got a lot more control with the regulator. So you can slow her right down. way now. Stop her there, and then I'll put her into reverse, which is there, and that's very hot as well. And as you can see how smoothly it runs, it is worth paying that extra bit to get a loco like this, I think, because it's much more satisfying. You have less hiccups. But I like the MSS loco. I would not stop working on it, but this basically runs straight out of the box. It's a bit more sophisticated. It's good having a water gauge on it as well, so you can see what's going on. You can just get a nice smoke from the chimney, so it looks really good when it's going round. Top up a little bit of mesh while it's doing that. Get that bit going. We're just down from the top of the glass with the water, so that's quite good. Right, so I'm going to shut the regulator, put her into mid-gear, then pick her up and put her on the track, like so. Here now, that sounds like a fighter aircraft coming into doing its training. That's it's above the clouds, so when it's a cloudy day it really sounds quite a lot. I'm just going to check the track. Everything should run good. This bit back in. A slide out section of the track, and I'm just putting that back now. Okay, so let's see what happens, shall we?